All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to the live stream. Again, Sunday morning chill with the fam, with everybody. That's my little tribute to Diego Jota right there. I don't know if you guys can hear me, yes or no. Let me know in the comment if you can hear me. Should be able to, but I'm not sure what's happening here. I'm not sure if you're able to hear me. Check. Yeah, mic is good. Yeah, so again, another Sunday morning, another chill with a coffee, early morning, where I am. Just going to talk about some football, mainly about some transfer stuff today. That was just my little video from the Jota tribute that I just dropped right there. So, yeah, I'll be uploading that video separately on YouTube. I tried to upload it like a couple days ago, and I think one clip was a little bit too long, so it told me that it infringed on copyright. So from the Premier League, so I had to adjust a few stuff and hit it up back again. So yeah. Now we're gonna get into the meat of the matter, and the meat of the matter is that we'll be talking about a few stuff in the Prem right now. Transfers this week, because you know how it goes. It's been a sad week of football so far for everybody, for that's involved. It's been one of them where we have the Jota situation, we have the party situation, but today, we're just gonna move away from that and mainly focus on the some news. And joining us, hasn't been joining us in a long time. RJ, what's up?
Not much, man. How are you doing?
Good. I see that you haven't got your morning face on yet, so
No.
yeah.
Ready to talk about some transfers?
Yeah, bro. It's the whole Jota thing kind of messed up the Friday Vibe show, but because I wasn't
Yeah.
in the mood for that as well. But yeah, no, we're on to talk about some transfer and stuff.
Let's get it rolling. Which one do you want to start with?
Oh, you're gonna see, bro. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be somewhat of a better show today, I will say.
Hmm.
Just drop this down a little bit, so yeah. My name isn't blocking my face. Okay. And remember, people, just drop a comment on the video once you hop in the stream. Just drop a comment. You know how it goes. Keep it going. Keep the conversation going. Raise my mic up a bit. So first, we're gonna be starting off with some news. It's the first stuff we're gonna talk about is that Liverpool is in talks with the players at the club whether they want to go ahead with the first game of preseason or they want to pretty much cancel it. Like cancel the first game that we're gonna play against Preston North End. So they're talking to the players to figure out if it's too early to play the first preseason or do they want to continue or do they want to just wait a bit due to the fact the whole thing with Diogo and stuff losing his life. So they're wondering if the players want some time before going into the first game of the season. What do you think about that? Do you think that's a good move or what do you say?
Honestly, I understand them wanting it off, and I think the game against Preston, it I think it's one they can miss, but just to keep the schedule going. I know everyone's grieving and everything, but
No, it's only the game against Preston. It's not
it's
the whole.
only the game against
Yeah,
Preston
it's only
uh,
on the 13th.
of July.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would take that off. I would
yeah,
take that off. Everyone would understand why, because
yeah,
everybody's looking forward to everybody showing up for preseason, ready to go. The friendship, the laughter, especially with him just being married, the stories and everything. So yeah, I think it's right to take it off. Um, just sit down, reflect, speak to each other about what happened, how you guys are going to move forward, how you guys are going to tackle the season, and then take it from there.
yeah. It's that's where it's pretty much at right now. I believe too. I believe that we need a week to everybody get into bearings into the season. It's gonna be an emotional season this season,
Yeah,
and I think this is gonna be another inch of motivation for the players throughout the season. I don't think it's gonna be a negative have a negative effect on the players. I just think it's gonna
mm,
be one that's gonna be fully motivated on the players going into this season, saying with the fact that they're gonna do it for Diogo.
yeah,
I think that's going to be fully motivated that everybody's going to want to win this. Every trophy this season is going to be dedicated towards the player. And for me as
right,
a fan,
rightfully so, rightfully so.
I'm looking forward to it, as you know from before.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Yeah,
Because I remember when that transfer happened, I called you and I was like, that was a great transfer because it was the in the same time that you guys signed Tiago.
yeah,
And it was all about the Tiago rave and everything. And then we saw the news that yeah, they signed Diogo Jota, and I was like, oh, because I like Jota. He's one of the best finishers there is. Very clinical. I was like, I didn't want that to happen, but it did, and he was a great player for Liverpool as well. But yeah, sad to see.
yeah. Because the funny thing is that the structure that Jota deal was crazy because we got Jota for I think about 30, 40, about 40, 30, something around there.
Yeah,
But then we have a young, promising fullback that left Liverpool in the opposite direction
yeah,
for about the same price, similar pricing. So it turns out that the Jota signing was way less than than what was actually reported, and people kind of forget that. But also the Jota signing got overshadowed by
Tiago.
Thiago coming in, and that was it. But yeah, for me personally, I think it's the right thing for the club to do
Hmm.
to just postpone the game against Preston. I think the players might want to go ahead and do it, and I think it's the right thing for them to do as well. Is to post it to the players that are playing if they want to go ahead and do this.
Yeah,
Do they want to actually not play that game and then we move on to the rest of the preseason, because I believe that at that point it's the best people to talk to about it, because they are
Hmm.
the ones who are impacted the most by it and
Yeah.
stuff, rather than forcing it um, onto them. And moving from one bit of sad news to the other bit of sad news, it's the Club World Cup. I was talking to you about this yesterday
Uh,
as well. The
Musiala.
the Musiala injury. Um, One of my concerns about the Club World Cup was injuries, but again, as rightfully pointed out, preseasons is there. People
Hmm.
do get freak injuries on preseason, and I will say this: it it is a freak injury. It is
Hmm.
one where the goalkeeper have all right to go for the ball. The goalkeeper went for the ball. He didn't try to challenge as much. The defender didn't try to. The challenge is not like the defender push him into the goalkeeper or anything. It's just that just a freak accident, and you
Yeah.
can see it. You can see it from the reaction of
The player.
Donnarumma.
Yeah.
Yeah, that he's like, man, what have I done? And it's like,
Mm.
yeah, and the referee did the right thing at that time. Just call half time.
Yep.
Just get the physios out there to take care of it. Get the players off the field, and because it was in like extra time of
Halftime.
yeah, injury time of halftime. So like I get that. It's one of those. It's and Bayern lose what, two players
Okay.
in that game, because somebody has pulled up with a hamstring injury in that game as well. But yeah, it's one of those where you just have to look at it and be like, okay, then this happens. Um, One I don't like to see. Like I hate to see players getting like injured like that.
Yeah.
To be fair, and to some of the for the game itself, the game wasn't really that much of a crazy game. Even though PSG got two red cards, it was like two dumb moments that give red cards, and a massive injury that overshadowed the game that I would say could have been avoided, but yeah, it's just one of those. I mean,
Mm.
sorry, couldn't be avoided, but it's just one of those.
Yeah. It's sad to see what happened. We wish him a speedy recovery. The reports is that he'll be out for like 4 to 5 months. I know he would want to be there for the beginning of the season, the opener and everything, but again, we have to all wish him the best, especially on his recovery and everything going forward. And hopefully, we'll see him by I'm ready to start the second half of the season, which hopefully he is, and he's in the mindset to do that. And like you said, it's a freak accident, and I know a lot of people saying it happened because of the Club World Cup, and you shouldn't be forcing the players to play so many games. Yes, I understand that as well, but it could have happened in preseason. What are you gonna say then?
That is true. It's one of those, because again, as I said, it's a nothing. It's literally the defender shielding the ball for the goalkeeper to pick up. The goalkeeper come and pick up the ball, but his weight fell
Mm,
on his ankle
yeah.
and stuff. So
It's sad to see, and we wish him a speedy recovery. We have to take Donnarumma into consideration as well, how he's feeling about it as well.
yeah,
So we wish everybody the best, and hopefully we can see him for the second half of the season.
yeah, me too. To be fair, me too. Like that's kind of what I'm hoping for. It's like it's a speedy recovery. I don't. It's an ankle dislocated, so it's still better than if it was absolutely broken.
Hmm.
Um, and then that would be something completely different. But yeah, yeah, it's one of those. The On the bright side though, the Club World Cup is going good. My favorite for the Club World Cup is still charging on, which is Real Madrid. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
still charging on.
yeah. It was a
Up to
good
the
game
underdogs.
versus Al Hilal and Fluminense. I enjoyed that, but I was rooting for Al Hilal.
I'm always rooting for the underdogs.
Hmm.
Um, it might be PSG luckier
Yeah,
being
I see that.
being the first team from France to do a treble,
Mm,
and could be the first team from France to do the quad. And to be fair, we might not see this happening again
Hmm.
from a French team. Not saying that things can change in the future. It's just because the level of where the finances are in France right now, it is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. Um, but I've been watching the transfers slowly of what's going on in France, and it's looking good. They're picking up some really good players. Yes,
Yeah,
it
but
doesn't seem like they would have the financial support that most of them need, but hopefully these top teams in France can shine on the big stage and help
but
and that maybe that will help them out a bit more.
but the problem with that is that you're seeing like the lights of a Leon, for
Hmm.
example. A Leon is pretty much gone.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Is like you see the fact that Leon is drifting. No, is about to be relegated. It's confirmed, right? Like full on confirmed.
I think it was, but they're fighting against it, and I think with a few transfers, like PSG paid the Barcola fee, which helped them a bit, and with a few more sales, I think they would be able to stay up. So they're still working on that. But as of now, I think they are going to. Don't quote me, but I think they are going to League Two.
Yeah, this is kind of why I kind of understand the Bayern model
Hmm.
in Germany. Is that the fact is they keep spending big money towards the lesser teams to keep
Hmm.
them afloat
Yeah.
per se. Because when you really look at it, like you have the lights of Shepherd the Snow, like them buying from inside the league rather
Yeah.
than spending the money outside of the league, help the league itself because Bayern itself generates so much money on their own where the rest of the league doesn't. So I can see how that helps the league. That's something that I think PSG kind of was doing before. The problem is what I find that with a lot of the the clubs, like for example Leon, I think Leon took on a lot of Premier League players,
Mm.
and the players that they took on, it's not like they're bad players, but at the same time the wages I think is crippling.
Mm.
Because even if for example you take on a player coming out of the Prem and he's on 180, for example, when he was in the Prem, and he's
Hmm.
willing to take half of that pay cut to go to France, that's still you're looking at $90,000
Hmm.
for a club for a club with the revenue of Leon having 4 or 5 of those players on their books. That is a lot of money coming out if you're not bringing the revenue in.
Yeah. Yep. And with them out of Europe for a while, I think for a couple of seasons, that didn't help as well. So with like the likes of Lacazette, Cherky, Maitland Niles, that was there at
Well,
one point.
for example, like
It,
the likes of Turkey is kind of easy. It's a like of like as you said, it's a likes of um Lacazette, the likes of other players like those that are moving from bigger team to them. Because
yeah,
they're for those guys taking a pay cut, it's still a massive wages on a small club bill.
yeah,
And we see that happens a lot, even in the Prem before, when you used to see like the teams get promoted, signing players that are on the fringes of bigger teams. But what happened is those players come into those teams with these massive contracts, and then when those teams get relegated, they're in such a financial hole that they never get back up.
yeah,
So, and maybe that's why we see the last teams that got promoted to the Premier League just got relegated right away. It's not that their squad isn't good enough; it's that they're looking at it and being like, until we figure out a formula of how to get a good core to stay up, like what they call it did, um crap, like what Brentford did, like what
Brentford did
Brighton
it,
did.
Brighton did,
Yeah,
Fulham did it. Fulham figured it out and was able to stay up.
yeah, but the thing is like for Fulham recruits really well, and Fulham has a very good pool of young talent that they
Mm.
sell for a lot of money.
Yeah,
And that's the other thing too. It's academies. Brentford and Brighton just realized that the academy thing doesn't work for them. So what
Mm.
they do instead of going through the academy route is that they just buy from the big clubs academy.
Yep.
They just circle around them. They're going to release players anyways. That's going to be too good. That's still too good to that they would have produced, and it would cost them less to just sign those players and bring them in.
Yep.
And in a few years time, those players are now massive superstars on
Yeah.
big wages.
And they
So
keep giving them these 2 3 year contracts with the guarantee that, yeah, you guys will
and
be.
and sorry to cut you, but back to the Leon thing. With like back in the day, when you look at Leon, the lights of players that Leon used to bring through, those were it's if you think about the players that Leon brought through back in the day and sold on for a lot of money, it is huge. Those stuff. Yo, big up yourself, Delhi. Big up, big up, big
Big
up.
up, big up, big up.
Those were huge because you're looking at one point they had Benzema and
Hmm.
they had Ben Afra ripping it up, and then when both of those guys left, they had Gomez. That's his name.
Yeah.
Yes, coming through right after. So Leon always used to produce a lot of talent and a
And they
lot
still
of
did
talent.
because Lacazette came through. Then that
Yeah,
Cherokee, yeah. So they keep producing a few talents.
no, but this is what I'm saying. They're just producing a few now. Like
Hmm.
back in the day, they used to have a lot of talent
Mm.
to produce, to sell on, to balance the books and stuff like that. But yeah, that's it. That's the Leon stuff though. I don't know. It's kind of crazy right now with what's happening with them. But hopefully they stay up. Hopefully they stay up. And
Yeah.
that's the other thing. And if I want to go on a bit of a good news for a fan base that's desperate for some good news, is that Arsenal has finally signed Zubamendi.
Yeah.
They round of applause to Arsenal to finally convince Zubamendi that he can actually leave the mountains of Spain and
Mm.
come to a city.
Yeah. Also,
Like,
they have agreed terms with Madueke.
come
Uh,
on, good news, good news, good news. Zubamendi first. Zubamendi, good news, good news. We know they're rivals, but let's
yeah, yeah.
make Arsenal.
And
Let's
I'm
make
giving more
Arsenal.
good news.
No.
This
Let's make Arsenal feel good right now, okay? Just a feel good segment. We
it,
have
it,
two
it,
feel good segment first to go through
it
before
is
we
a
get
feel
to
good
before we
segment.
get to the real feel good segment. Okay, let's get to the baby steps. Let's talk about Zubamendi first. They're getting Zubamendi
Hmm.
in. They're about to lose the lose party because they released him.
Hmm.
No, I'm not gonna sit here and say I see how a lot of how Zubamendi plays. I've never really watched him play. Not really much. I don't watch much Spanish football. Want to do much more watching the La Liga this season. As I said to you before, want to do a full on watch of La Liga this season and maybe bring in a pre-recorded show where we talk about La Liga. But
Yeah.
normally we don't. I don't watch much of La Liga, so I don't have much to say about the Zubamendi signing. All I know is we were looking at him to play the role that Ryan Gravenberch is playing.
Mm.
Now, if we're looking at him to play that role, and Arsenal is going to get him to play the same role because he's going to be playing the same role in Arsenal, I can't then turn around and say he doesn't play that role and that's a bad signing. Because
Mm.
if he had came to Liverpool playing the same role that Gravenberch was end up playing because we didn't get Zubimendi, I can't just no go bad on the signing. I think it's a really good signing.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a good reinforcement after losing Partey to have that person come in to have that to play that role again. I think it's a very good like for like change. Hopefully it works out for them, but overall it's a good signing. It took a while because we were having this
Oh
discussion,
man.
and I'm pretty sure we saw that they it was signed from around what January, February that he's coming to Arsenal. But it took some time. He's finally here. Arsenal is working on a few things, which is awesome. So we can expect them to be a very very good a better team. Hopefully a better team that they and than that they were last season,
Yeah.
and will it's good for the league because if these teams keep improving, the league will get better, will continuously get better, and that's what we want.
Yeah. So this is what I'm thinking. Like, I think the whole defensive destroyer thing, players, it's kind of getting teams are kind of moving away from it for a little bit. But because a team like Arsenal, yes, he's gonna be playing next to Rice and Odegaard, but a team like Arsenal who's gonna be on the attack most games. Arsenal is not gonna be sitting back in most games and defending for their life. Most of the time, Arsenal is gonna play teams that they are gonna be in control of the ball 90% of the time. They're gonna be pinning back teams until they play against the top teams where they might need somebody to break up the play in the middle of the park. Then they're going to play against teams that are going to be sitting a bit lower.
Yeah.
What you need is somebody who can, for example, similar to a Rodri, similar to um, these type of hybrid defensive midfielders right now, which is being able to be also a deep line playmaker as well. And that's where it comes in. That's where it looks good for Arsenal. I would say is that Zubimendi is going to come in. He's going to sit in. He's going to reinforce that back line as well. He's going to make sure that you might see where it you find there's two center back spread,
And he's right in between both of
and
them.
he's right in between both of them, picking up the ball. So it doesn't allow. So that stop Declan Rice now from dropping deep to come and get the ball,
Yeah.
and Zubameni can just pick up the ball from there and just spread it, and it will help their build up really well. I think it's actually a really good signing for Arsenal.
Nice.
Is to getting Zubi Dubi Doo in. It's again, it's one of those where I was kind of skeptical because it's like Arsenal went in for him first. Then the signing didn't come through. Liverpool went in, the signing didn't come through, and then we're looking now that Arsenal going in back again. I'm like, okay, are they going to be able to convince him, or is Real Madrid going to step in to sign him? I think what happened is I still think he was holding out for Real
Real
Madrid to
Madrid.
come
Yeah,
in for that last offer, but after Alonso went in and said that Chouameni is going nowhere.
yeah.
He loves the playing with Chouameni, and he's going nowhere, and that kind of changed the whole view on the whole situation with Zubamendi, and he just accept that it's gonna be the Premier League that he's gonna be going into. And talking about Arsenal midfield, and I know that still, for me personally, they still need to do a lot of reinforcement. Just as Liverpool does, we still need to have reinforcement because I still need there's areas on the field that we need to sort out. There's still areas on the field, multiple areas on the field that Arsenal still need to sort out before I can put them as favorites or one of the favorites to win. The other position they need to start out is strikers, and it is news has broke that Arsenal are in advanced talk with Victor Gyökeres. Um, the Nicholas Jackson, I think that might be still an option, but I think it's a joke. But they have agreed terms with they're in like personal negotiation right now with
Hey,
Gyökeres.
in difference, I'm seeing all this Nicholas Jackson hate and everything, and he's actually a pretty decent goal scorer. It, like
Hold on, let's
he's been in the league what for 2 seasons
but
so far,
Nicholas
and he's a double digit goal scorer. So
but
he's to me Nicholas Jackson is Premier League proven.
All
So
right. So,
everybody's hating on Nicholas Jackson, this and that, but he scores goals. He's like, compare him to Darwin Nunes that everybody is saying not score. He's scoring more than Darwin Nunes.
yeah. The
So
thing is, the thing with Nicholas Jackson is this, right? And I get the hate from Nicholas Jackson, from fans of Nicholas Jackson, is that people need to remember Nicholas Jackson is a winger. So if Arsenal is looking at Nicholas Jackson, it could be to play on
no,
the
he's a striker.
no, he's a winger. Coming in from I think he's coming from Villarreal, right? Or one of those. He was playing out wide. Is similar to like how Salah play out wide, cut in. And the fact is that Chelsea didn't have a striker and they threw him up front. And it worked because Nkunku was out injured. So he's a wide player that they threw up front to play as a striker.
Okay.
This is the why, because his movement is not of a striker movement. You can tell a player that grew up playing as a striker, their movement is a lot different. He's a wide player that they played up front. So again, I could see where the link is to Nicholas Jackson to play out left, but they are in for Gyökeres as well.
Yeah, I saw the news with Gyökeres
Yeah,
this morning. I'm just hearing about the whole Nicholas Jackson.
because the news with Nicholas Jackson has been floating around in the air for a while, but again, it is what it is. It's one of those. Just going over some of these comments here quickly. Like for Nicholas Jackson news, you guys always shop in the Chelsea bin. It is what it is. That's the problem with Arsenal. You guys shop in Chelsea bin so much that if you guys get linked with a Chelsea player,
It's not surprising.
it's not surprising. Nicholas Jackson is not bad if you're gonna buy him as a backup to one of your players that you have. No, if Arsenal wants to go out and win the league, and I'm going to say this right now, if your aim is to win the league and to win any of Europe's elite competitions, which is the Champions League as well,
Mm.
signing of Nicholas Jackson does not do that. Because one, if you're signing players, you have to sign players not for the bench, but you have to sign players that's going to challenge first team footballers.
Yep.
So simple. So what I'm saying is this: you need a left winger. Go get. Yeah. If you need a left winger, go out there and get a Rodrigo. It's simple. Put the money on the table. Put the money on the table. Get a Rodrigo. Call it a day. There is other strikers. There's other wingers out there that you can really look at and be like, okay, I can go get this player, and he'll be better on the wing than what we have. And then your first team player becomes your backup player, or both of them are fighting for a position, and it breeds competition. This is all you have to do. When you look at it, when City signs players, City don't sign players thinking we're gonna buy this person for a squad option. We're buying this person because we need this person to become first team footballer. And the
Mm.
only way you can do that is to breed competition, and that's it. But I don't see where them bringing in a Nicholas Jackson, if they're challenging 2-3 seasons ago, when Arsenal is moving from outside of Champions League to get into Champions League, I could see a Nicholas Jackson signing and then get it to there. But right at this moment, right now, no, it is not. It is not the signing that you would be looking at right now to say. I would make as a team looking to challenge for the league. Like if Liverpool is linked with Nicholas Jackson, I'm gonna be thinking, okay then, but he's gonna be back up to Cody Gakpo. All right, I could see that because Cody Gakpo is actually a first team player.
Hmm.
But Arsenal with Martinelli and Trossard on the wing, which both of them blow hot and cold, and they're mainly cold. Like you can't add a Nicholas Jackson that's hot and cold to that. You need somebody hot to go in there, and then that will push the fire on the wing, and then everybody else is going to be competing for places.
Mm.
But even saying that, Liverpool is looking to move Luis Diaz on because he wants to leave. The,
Okay.
the problem is we are telling Barcelona that you want him, pay the money. Don't come out here with $40 million and think we're going to give him to you, not because he's going into his last year of his contract. We
Mm.
rather him play the last year and we clean up as much as we can clean up in trophies
Mm.
because it's still worth more than 40 million. And
Yeah.
that's where it's at, because we want them to pay minimum 60. So therefore we can then turn around and go to Real Madrid and be like, here is 60 million. We need Rodrigo. Because that's the talk. The talk is that if Liverpool lose Luis Diaz, we're going in for Rodrigo.
Mm.
How true is that? I don't know, but that's what's being said. So yeah. But Gyökeres would, if the talk with Gyökeres, that's what Arsenal needs. And I keep saying this: the strikers that are on the market, that's left on the market right now, is Oshiman, Gyökeres, Sesko, and Etikite.
Mm.
Oshiman for me is the best on the market right now. However, everybody's talking about that his wage demand, where I am going to say this right now. You got to read through the lines. If he was all about getting that wage demand, why did he turn on the move to Saudi?
Yeah, because the Saudi was giving him mad money.
Exactly. So simply telling you that I don't believe this wage demand crap that they're talking about.
Mm-mm.
Because he knows for a fact that if he's going to stay in Europe, that he has to lower his wage demands. So
No, I don't think the whole wage thing is like,
I
yes,
think it's
he's getting a lot of money from Saudi, but I think the European teams are still lowballing him. That's the
I
thing.
I don't think it's a wages. I think it's Napoli.
Mm.
I think it's a problem with, because the thing is this.
Napoli, yes, and Napoli wants a certain transfer fee for him.
Exactly.
So
That
that's
a
the
lot of
route.
the clubs
So
that are not
when
willing to pay.
when Al Hilal came in for him, they're like, yes, that's the fee that we want.
Yes.
So it's like,
And I think that's where
um,
the problem comes in. I think the problem with him is not the fact that he is the wage demand. Because if the transfer fee was lower,
mm,
people could sit with his representative and get the wages down and pay whatever needs to be paid in installments or however additional bonus to get his wages up. If that was the case, the problem I think is what Napoli is requiring from his transfer fees is that a lot of clubs just look at it and be like, it's okay, we're not even going to bother with this. Because what's the point of agreeing with the player if you're not going to agree with the club for the fee?
yeah,
Doesn't make any sense. And that is why there's no movements happening on that front. But we'll see, because if Darwin Nunes moves to Napoli, then that's going to drive the price for Osherman down a lot and stuff. But yeah, Gyökeres to Arsenal, no. With a Zubamendi signing and a Gyökeres signing, my view of Arsenal, where I think Arsenal will finish, is going to change massively. And that's it, because you know where I think Arsenal will finish if they sign some of the signs that they're linked to,
mm,
right? And talking about the other the happy factors that we like to talk about that make us as rival happy is the Madueke link. No,
yeah,
you signed Madueke. I'm not gonna lie. That's not even an upgrade on Martinelli. Let's call it a buck. It's not an upgrade on Martinelli. Because we see what happens when Martinelli gets space behind. When Martinelli gets space behind, Martinelli cook. That's it. We see the season when Martinelli had enough space behind, doesn't he's getting those one-on-ones, and even this season, when Martinelli get those in those areas with those one-on-ones to score, he scores.
Hmm.
Problem is, you're looking at Madueke, and all he's gonna do is gonna be dribble, 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 dribble. Yes, he scores a few goals, but I think how many goals did he score last season? Like seven, and he
I'm
scored
not
a
sure.
hat trick in one game. I don't think Madueke is worth it. But again, Chelsea's trying to move him on. It's easy to put links with Arsenal because people will click on it, people will buy it to say that that's where he's headed. But yeah, I don't think that's even a good shout. To be fair, what do you think?
I don't know. I remember Madueke when he was at what? Was it PSV or Feyenoord? He was a good prospect coming through. I think coming to Chelsea, he had hope for a bigger role playing there. But again, with the whole change of administration and managers, it keeps they keep dwindling down because the manager, you have to admit, some of these managers come in and they already know who they're going to play and the favorites and everything, and certain players that were there that had the potential, like him, the Carney Chukwumeka, the Alex Diassi, all of them that were good weren't in favor. So they're trying to get rid of most of these players that they know that aren't in the manager's favor, get the players that the managers want, and just hopefully all parties is happy at the end of the day when all
But
these are signed.
our party should be happy,
Yeah.
and
No-
this is where our party should be happy if that's the case. If I'm a Madueke right there, and I know that I'm not in the manager's plans, right?
mhm.
I need to leave. Why am I
Yeah,
forced? What am I doing there if I'm not in the plans of the manager?
yeah, absolutely.
Go take a step down. We see it happen. Look at Ilanga. Ilanga is making a big money move right now,
Yeah, going back, going to Newcastle.
right?
Newcastle is in Champions League, right?
Yeah, Newcastle is in Champions League. He's making that move. Sometimes a lot of the players like take the step down. You're still young enough. Take the step down, play regularly, week in, week
Week
out,
out,
and
prove yourself.
prove yourself and
A
get
team will come back in for you.
exactly.
They always do.
It's all about application. If you back yourself and you do everything that you need to do in the training sessions and the manager is still overlooking you,
You go out.
request a transfer to leave.
Yep.
Take the step, go somewhere else, restart your career. It's one of those. Yeah, I know, and like I know it's a World Cup year. I know you wanna get in a World Cup year, but let's be honest, there is a lot of players that come into Chelsea and make and put their name down, stick a claim, saying this is my spot, and nobody's moving me from my spot. A lot of players come into Chelsea and just thinking that the club is in a bad position, so I am gonna play week in, week out.
Hmm.
That's a complete difference. I just believe that when he does play, he looks good on the eye. But at the end of the day, when you're pushing to win stuff, looking good is not enough.
Mm.
It's similar to Jeremy Doku. Jeremy Doku looks good on the eye, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to that final bit that you need, it's not there.
Yep.
And when you're at the top level and you're playing for the top level, it's all about the final piece. Because that's the difference between when you're going up against top teams, staying in a competition and getting knocked out of a competition.
Yep.
And that's just where I think a lot of these players have fallen down over the last couple of seasons. But moving on to even better topics, I didn't have it in my running order because I didn't know if we were going to be able to get to it, so I didn't set it up. But United is looking to clean house,
Yep.
which I keep saying that they needed to do. It's needed by the club to clean house, complete rip down, complete restructure of the whole thing. Just get rid of players that the managers don't need. Just
Hmm.
completely get rid of them. Get the players in that the managers need, that understand his style of football, that understand how he wants to play. Doesn't have to be his old players, so you don't need to go by Sporting, but just players that play the manager's style of football. So therefore, he can get you guys up the table. The likes of Rashford, the likes of what do you call it? Um
Garnacho,
Garnacho.
Antony,
Yes.
Sancho, Malasia, all, and they all came out and say they want to move as well.
I mean, it doesn't need a blind man. It doesn't need like you don't need to be a mind reader
Hmm.
just to realize that you're not in the manager's plan.
Yep.
Like he totally said all of you guys out and said find a new club from January. And then the one that remained, he told him to find a new club because you feel like you're bigger than the club that you're at. And I completely respect that,
Hmm.
because at the end of the day, he knows his job is on the line.
Hmm.
You don't perform, I am losing my job. You're gonna be here still. So I need people who's gonna help me to help them to get to where we need to get to, which is
Yep.
which is good for the club. The problem, this is the problem that is happening right now, is that the only proper club that's looking at Garnacho is Atleti.
Oh, really? I
Yep.
think he wants to stay in the Prem. So
No, nobody in the Prem is gonna look at him
yeah, he wants to stay in the Prem. I think Bayer Leverkusen wanted him.
again. But this is the thing, though. This is why I said that kid has his head screwed on backwards, right? And I said, and I, I pointed that out from early. The instant you're Argentine and then you're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, I'm like, dude, you're screwed in your head. Now you're coming out. I get it. You can like Cristiano Ronaldo, but for politics state, you back your countryman.
Mm.
Now you're thinking that you're a bigger player than what you are. Yes, you play for Manchester United, but you play for Manchester United in the worst Manchester United era in the Premier League. Meaning that if this was any decent Manchester United team, not even the good ones, decent Manchester United team, you would not get it.
He wasn't. If it was earlier in the early 2020 to 2023, he's not getting 20 from 2018 to 2022. He's not getting in.
And those were decent teams. Those weren't good
Yeah.
teams. So
Even
therefore,
even if we go back to the whole Van Gaal, Mourinho, he's not getting into the team.
like I don't see where he's better than a Ilanga.
Mm-mm,
That
never.
that
But I was
yeah.
saying this Palestri that they sold. Palestra to me was better because you can see the effort, the knowledge, the IQ when Palestri's on the field. But he was the favorite, and that's just it. Shiratori that they sold, Shiratori was better. That they let go, he was better.
You guys
Ilanga,
almost you guys almost let go of the dude
Ahmad,
Ahmad
Ahmad,
Diallo,
and Diallo was way better. The,
and
the
you
the
almost
thing
lost
is,
him.
yeah, the thing is with the whole Diallo and Palestri, they came at a time they weren't bad signings, but they came at a time when the manager that was there needed experience. He needed somebody to lock down that right wing position. And when he told them who they want, they went out and signed Palestri and Diallo. Diallo was playing for Atalanta and good, but he was still young. That's not what Ole wanted. Palestri, same thing, not what Ole wanted. And then they got Sancho and it never worked out. So that's the thing. So they have this taboo of they came in with this manager, it didn't work out, so we have to get rid of some of them. I don't think they got a fair chance.
Okay,
We've seen um Ahmad got his chances right now and he's taking it.
so one of them is I think you might be able to get rid of Rashford
Yeah.
because that's but that's 100% dependent on the Luis Diaz situation.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if Barcelona don't get you Luis Diaz, then they might change focus to Rashford. That's an option on the table for Barcelona right now. Um, I am not. The thing is there's a few clubs right now that would take a Rashford. Not saying that he's a bad player, but the position that he plays.
Mm,
Very few. Um, that is at the top level. Everything else is he's looking at is going back is a step down, and that's where because a couple years ago when the PSGs was looking at him to play that level, should have forced his way out.
mm.
When Barcelona was looking at him, he should have forced his way out. I think he tried to stay loyal to the club, but the club, your fan base wasn't loyal to him.
Mm-hmm.
Just put it that way.
100%. 100%. Which I
Um,
hear a lot of them talking. I'm just like, you guys don't even know what you guys are talking about, because so I just keep my 2 cents and let, cause it makes no sense. Because yeah, if he, with how PSG said Barcelona would be a good fit, and if he goes there and he starts playing, they're going to come out and say, well, he wasn't playing like that when he was at United. But nobody's looking, because I've been pointing this out to you for a while. And it was under Ten Hag that the first season Ten Hag was there, Rashford was very close to goal. The season when he had 17 goals and so on,
yeah,
very close to goal. He wasn't doing any half line runs with the ball, beating a midfielder, beating a defender, and then boom, the third person is going. No matter how good you are, you're hardly gonna beat a 1v3. And that's what Rashford has been doing for a while. But as soon as Garnacho comes on, Garnacho is closer to goal.
yeah,
Right? And that's how it's been for a while. I've been pointing this out to you for from the second season, haven't I?
yeah, man.
He went to Aston Villa, and Emery said, "I'm glad to have him." How many times? Because I've watched, and I don't see Rashford doing a lot of runs with the ball from the half line, taking on defenders. They bring the ball, they give it to him as close as possible to the penalty box, and say, "Do your thing." Every time Rashford scores goals, he's not doing. No winger is gonna take on three opposition every single time and win. I think that's what they're looking at. It's like he's 27, he's wised up. I have to reserve my energy. I have to avoid injury if I want to continue playing. So when I get the ball at the half line and I look up and there's a midfielder and I know that if I beat him, there's the fullback that I have to beat and maybe the defender, it makes no sense. Let me pass it off and get in a better position.
this
Nobody's looking at that like that. They're just
this
like,
might sound wild, and this might sound extremely wild, but the thing is, that's that's a player that Arsenal should be looking at as a Rashford.
mm,
Hear me out. They have Saka on one side doing the creative stuff, right? Dropping in, linking up with Odegaard, all that kind of stuff. They would need a player like Rashford on the other side. However, this is where the Rashford thing to Arsenal now becomes a problem because they would need a player like Rashford, somebody who knows how to get the ball to the back of the net.
mhm.
Problem with Rashford is his work rate. Because
Nothing is
no, no,
wrong
no,
with.
no, no, hear me out. Arteta is gonna need him to play left wing and left back in the
Mm.
same game. This is I'm not saying Rashford himself work rate is poor. I'm just saying what the manager is gonna require of him to do. And that is kind of where it might be one of those where it might not work.
Yeah.
But if Arsenal get a different manager, then they could. This is my thing. If Arsenal would go in right now to um get rid of if they move Martinelli, Trossard out of the team, get them sold, be gone. And they're looking to bring in a, a Rodrigo
Mm.
and go to United and be like, I give you 15 million for Rashford. because nobody else is going to bid for him. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And said, Rashford, you and Rodrigo go fight out that wing spot. No, for me, that sent a completely different message to the team, to the whole league, not just the team itself, the whole league. Because now the quality in training has gone up, the quality on the field has gone up, and now people realizing that, okay, so we are actually competing against these top teams. Rashford can play anywhere from striker as well as a backup striker,
Can play as a backup striker.
and he
He's
can
very good
play
on the left wing. He struggles on the right, but with who Arsenal has, they don't need him on the right.
exactly. So this is where no, you start looking at it and be like, if Arsenal for the rest of the window went out and pick up Rashford, Rodrigo, and Gyökeres, and they lose, they remove Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, and Trossard. That is a massive upgrade on Arsenal for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Massive. And like I'm a massive Rashford fan, but I do believe that he would struggle playing in the Arteta system.
Yep.
That's just it. He would struggle playing there. I think that he would have made the move to Villa, but Villa doesn't have the money
Yeah, they
to
don't.
bring him in. And again, he could still make the move to Villa if they get Leon Bailey off their books, which they're trying to get off their books.
Yeah, I think they're trying to sell him to Saudi because they know that's where they're going to get a very good transfer fee for him.
The thing is that yes, and even him going to Saudi would be very a small wages on the Saudi books.
Yeah.
So what's his name is gonna move back to Europe. The other dude that plays for Jamaica as well, that's in Saudi. The other winger.
Demarai Gray.
Yeah, so Demarai Gray is rumored to be moving back to Europe, which they could replace Demarai Gray with Bailey.
Mm.
Just what they might be thinking. Bailey might take the move because he loves the money. Let's call it a buck. So he might take the move. Now, with all that said, we're looking at that would be a stronger team. Arsenal does not need defenders. Sorry, Arsenal does not need defenders. How many defenders does one team need? You do not need any more defenders. They have enough defenders that can play a whole team worth of defenders. No more defenders. Look at the attack. And they do need another number 10. But they will tell you that they have these kids coming through. Sure. If that's the case, get them in, get them some minutes under their belt, go for it. But they don't need defenders. They need strikers, and they also need other attackers. But yeah, I would make those signings if that was the case. The other set of players that's moving out of United is Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
How much are you guys willing to sell Anthony for?
I don't think they will get a good price, the price they're looking for.
How much are they looking for?
I think they're trying to, don't quote me, at least recoup at least 60% of the transfer bill that they paid for him, which I think is absurd. But he wants to move. I think he's tasted freedom, as they call it, to play how he wants to play, and Real Betis wants to. They say Real Betis wants him, so we'll see how that goes.
But again, that's so therefore he's going to take a massive pay cut to go to Real Betis.
Real Betis, yeah. The
Like
question
a
is
ridiculous
a
pay cut.
ridiculous pay cut. But with
And can
Anthony,
Real Betis
I
afford
don't think Real Betis would be a last stop for Anthony. I think this would be like a stepping stone for him. He just needs the right people around him to convince him that this is the move that he needs. Go where you're wanted. You're appreciated.
I
And
think he's already I
at
think
this
he's
point,
already
it's
convinced.
yeah,
But there's a couple stumbling blocks in this. One of the stumbling blocks in this is how much is the transfer fee?
yeah.
The other stumbling block is
It has
can
nothing to do with the player. It's between the clubs right now.
yeah, can Betis afford this transfer fee? And I would say no.
Mm.
Where did Betis finish last season?
I think they're going in Europe. They're in Europe.
Okay, but even though they're in Europe, you gotta remember a few things about the Spanish league is that the money doesn't get distributed properly.
Hmm.
So no, they're not in Europe. Betis finished 14th. No,
No, they
sorry.
didn't.
No, they didn't. What am I talking about? I'm looking at this season. Yeah. So they finished sixth.
Yeah, so they're in Conference League.
No,
No, Europe.
Europa League.
Yeah,
So they're back in the Europa League.
yeah.
They're in the Europa League now. Even though that they're in Europa League now, it's can they afford him?
Yeah. We might see another loan loan to buy situation going on. Might be another loan to buy situation where he's there and they get him for a cut price and they pay majority of his wages.
Okay. This is for how much were they paying for Anthony? Oh, it's not on here.
Mm.
I'm trying to find the because they have Pablo Fornals there as well.
That Real Betis?
Yeah. Yeah. And he's their highest earner on 42K.
Yeah,
Isco is on 36.
yeah. The not gonna happen.
Exactly. And then you start looking down, it's like Bellerin is on 18. Adrian is on 7. Like it starts to look down like really, really, really bad when you start to think about it. So he's not gonna go there being on their highest wages. So he's gonna be on like
30K.
maybe even lower, maybe down to about 20.
I don't think that will happen.
So that's the other thing um that is a problem here. The problem is the wages.
Yep. Wages and all of that will be a main factor. Our next
Because
player I think is moving is Sancho. I think Juventus wants to go in for him. The last thing I hear, I don't know how true it is a swap
yeah, so
between.
Anthony's on 150K.
Uh,
So if he's thinking about moving to Betis, he's gonna lose 130, maybe 130 to 120K a week worth of wages.
yeah.
That's a whole lifestyle change.
Hmm.
That's from eating caviar to now he's gonna be eating cup noodles, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, moving on. We Sancho is the next to go.
Sancho, and he's on 300 as well, right?
And I think they're trying to Juventus is trying to get him.
So this is the thing though. Like these are the players that I think that you guys really need to get moving on in the next couple of windows, and this is why United are signing and can sign players. So Casemiro left, right? Is he gone?
No, he's still there.
Okay, so that's 300,000 a week that you have sitting on. Could have been worse if you guys had won the Europa League. Um, Marcus Rashford 300 that needs to be gone. 300 a week you can get two. You can get 2 to 3 players in. Split that wages right across 2 to 3 players easily. Casemiro the same, 2 to 3 players easily. Bruno Fernandes, club want him gone. He doesn't want to go to Saudi. Nobody else wants to take him.
No, the club doesn't want him gone.
Yes, the club accepted accepted the transfer to Saudi, and he said no.
No, read again. They so they bid for him. He said he doesn't want to go, and they didn't accept.
Okay, so if Saudi bid, that means Saudi has talked to Manchester United and agreed a fee that they would accept before they make the bid.
Mm.
The fact that they bid, meaning that they know that this was going to get accepted by the club.
No, they did not accept a bid for Bruno Fernandes.
Okay,
The United did not accept a bid.
Riddick, this is how the negotiation goes. No club is gonna bid unless they know that the club is willing to accept that offer. The fact that the player said he doesn't want to go made the transfer not happen. But there is a fee that the club from Saudi Arabia know that Manchester United will accept. Because they have spoken to Manchester United to figure out what would then be an acceptable fee for Bruno Fernandes.
They were bidding 100 mil.
Yes,
that was the report.
And that is the fee that Manchester United said, oh, we'll look anywhere upwards at this. So they're like, okay, we'll bid this, we'll bring him over. And he said, don't want to go. Transfer dead. But doesn't mean that Manchester United wouldn't accept the 100 million. If Fernandes said he wanted to go and Manchester United said, we don't want the money, that's them rejecting the deal. Bruno Fernandes rejected the deal, not Manchester United. Because if a player said he doesn't want to go, it makes no sense Manchester United accepting the deal now, does it? The other player you need to get off your book is Luke Shaw, 200K. Hey, co-host, what's up? Mason Mount, 200K. Ericsson, 170.
Ericsson's gone.
Ericsson's gone, so you're free that wages up.
Lindelof is gone as well.
Okay, good. So therefore, that's like 300 plus K. So that's like 300 plus K already off the books. So yeah, it's a good look. You guys are looking good. Your finances are coming in order. Malacia wants to leave. That's going to be the easiest. I think that's going to be the easiest transfer that you guys do over the summer. He's on 47K, so even if he takes a pay cut, it's going to be good. So yeah, that's not bad. Garnacho is on 53K, so his wages is low as well, which will be enticing for a lot of teams. I don't know if Forest would be interested in bringing him as a longer replacement. I don't know. What, you'll see yourself on camera, say hi, wave. Daddy headphones. Yeah, so I don't know if that's gonna be a thing, to be fair. But yeah, we'll see. But right now I'm gonna go chill. As you can see, co-host wake up and said it's his time. So yeah, we will be on the other one. The other show is gonna be next week. So next week is gonna be the other show that we're gonna have next week, Friday. Friday Vibes. Hopefully we can pull off Friday Vibes this weekend. It's been a tough one trying to get some of these shows in because it's summertime and there is so much happening in summer. So it's always a tough one. But again, guys, remember, like, share, subscribe on the videos if you're new, and drop a like. Always drop a like on the video. It helps the algorithm. Whenever you guys are here watching, just drop a like. And yeah, we catch you on the other one. But before we leave, we're gonna drop that Diego Jota tribute again to get us out of here.
Oh, his name is Diogo. Oh, the president of the country.
Come away with the ball. Oh, given away awfully. And Diogo shot.